Have you ever noticed how the people who talk the loudest about money are usually the ones who don't actually have much of it? They're posting about crypto gains, flexing rental cars, or trying to sell you a course on how to make $10,000 a month with no skills and no effort. But then there are the quiet ones. The ones who don't post about money, the ones who still live in the same house they bought 15 years ago, drive a car that's not impressive, and seem ordinary. And yet somehow they're millionaires. No lottery wins, no viral business, no lucky break, just quiet, consistent moves that add up over time. These people are everywhere, and most of us never even realize it, because real wealth doesn't look flashy. It looks boring, and that's exactly why it works. My name is Michael, and I help people understand money the way school never did. If you've ever wondered how normal people, the ones without six-figure salaries or rich parents, actually become millionaires, you're about to find out. Because the truth is, wealth isn't built through noise. It's built through silence, through patience, through doing the same smart things over and over while everyone else is distracted. Let's talk about what those quiet millionaires actually do differently and why it works every single time. Number 1, they decide what enough looks like. Here's the thing most people never realize. You can't build wealth if you don't know what you're aiming for. Most people are chasing a moving target. They think, once I make $100,000 a year, I'll be good. Then they hit that goal and suddenly it's 200. Then it's 500. Then it's, I'll be happy once I can buy the beach house. The goalpost never stops moving. And because of that, they never actually feel wealthy, even if they technically are. Quiet millionaires don't play that game. They decide early what enough looks like for them. Maybe it's being debt-free, owning their home, having $500,000 in investments, and enough passive income to not worry about bills. That's it. And once they hit that number, they stop inflating their lifestyle. Take a look at someone who earns $80,000 a year and saves 15% of it for 20 years. Nothing fancy. Just steady saving and investing. That person can easily cross the $1 million mark through compound growth while still living a normal, comfortable life. Meanwhile, someone earning twice as much but spending everything they make will never get there. The emotional consequence here is that most people keep chasing more and end up broke with expensive taste. The quiet ones set limits and stay content. That's how they quietly win. Number 2, they live below their means, way below. This is the part that nobody wants to hear. You cannot out-earn bad spending habits. I don't care how much you make. If every raise turns into a new car or a bigger house or another streaming subscription, you're just running on a treadmill, sweating but going nowhere. Quiet millionaires understand this at a level that feels almost extreme to everyone else. They could afford more, but they simply choose not to. They buy the mid-range car and keep it for 10 years. They cook at home most nights. They fix things instead of replacing them, not because they're cheap, but because they value freedom more than image. Here's where it gets interesting. When you live below your means, you create margin. Margin is what lets you save, invest, and take opportunities when they appear. Most people have zero margin. Every dollar they earn is already spent on lifestyle maintenance. But when you have margin, you can make moves, buy when the market dips, start a side project, or take time off work without panic. Living below your means is the unsexy foundation of real wealth. You won't see it on social media because quietly living well within your budget doesn't go viral, but it's the real secret. It's what separates people who get rich once from those who stay rich forever. Number 3, they use time as their greatest asset. Here's something that shocks people. Most millionaires didn't earn their money quickly. They earned it slowly. The average millionaire in America is around 57 years old. That's not because they wasted decades being lazy. It's because they used time correctly. They understood that compounding takes patience. Let me give you an example. If you invest $500 every month starting at age 25 and earn an average return of 8%, you'll hit $1 million by your mid-50s. That's without ever increasing your contributions. No fancy trades, no business, just time doing its thing. But if you wait until you're 35 to start, you'll need to invest around $1,200 a month to hit that same number. 10 years cost you over double the effort. This is where most people mess up. They keep waiting for the perfect time to invest, after they buy the car, after they pay off the credit card, after the market calms down. Meanwhile, time keeps moving. Quiet millionaires start early, even if it's small. They understand that compound growth rewards consistency, not timing. The emotional consequence? Most people delay because they're scared or indecisive, and they end up paying for that hesitation with decades of lost growth. Number 4. They don't try to beat the market, they just join it. Most people think becoming a millionaire means picking the next Tesla or timing the market perfectly. They imagine traders sitting in front of 6 monitors yelling buy and sell. In reality, the quiet millionaires are usually investing in plain, boring index funds, the S&P 500, total market funds, broad ETFs. That's it. They're not chasing hype. They're buying ownership in hundreds of companies and letting time do the heavy lifting. Here's why this works. The average annual return of the S&P 500 over the last century has been about 10% before inflation. That's through wars, recessions, political chaos, and everything else. The people who consistently invest in it through the highs and lows end up rich. The people who try to wait for the right moment almost always miss it. Quiet millionaires know they're not smarter than the market. They don't waste energy trying to outguess professional traders. They automate their contributions, ignore the noise, and stay invested for decades. And because of that, they quietly become the ones everyone later calls lucky. The truth? They just stayed the course when everyone else panicked. Number 5. They avoid lifestyle creep like it's a disease. Ever notice how every time you make more money, life somehow gets more expensive? You get a raise, and suddenly your car feels old. Your apartment feels small. Your phone feels outdated. That's lifestyle creep, and it's the silent killer of wealth. Quiet millionaires avoid it at all costs. When they get raises, they increase their savings rate instead of their lifestyle. They upgrade slowly and intentionally. Think about it. If you make $70,000 a year and live on $50,000, you're saving $20,000. Then you get a raise to $80,000. Most people immediately raise their lifestyle to $75,000 and save nothing extra. Quiet millionaires, though, keep living on $50,000 or maybe $55,000 and invest the difference. Over 10 years, that one decision can mean hundreds of thousands in additional net worth. The emotional consequence here is that lifestyle creep tricks you into thinking you're progressing when you're actually stuck. You feel richer, but you're just spending more to maintain the illusion. Quiet millionaires see through that illusion. They don't chase looking successful. They chase financial independence. That's the quiet flex that actually matters. Number 6. They use debt strategically or not at all. Debt is one of those things that can make or break you. Used correctly, it's a tool. Used emotionally, it's a trap. Quiet millionaires understand this distinction deeply. They avoid consumer debt like it's radioactive. No financing furniture, no credit card balances for points, no car loans for status. They either pay cash or buy what fits comfortably in their budget. But here's where they're smart. They don't fear all debt. They use it strategically for things that appreciate or generate income. A mortgage on a rental property. A business loan for an asset that pays for itself. They understand leverage, but they also understand risk. If the numbers don't make sense on paper, they walk away, even if the deal looks shiny. Most people use debt to feel wealthy. Quiet millionaires use it to become wealthy. That's a huge difference. The emotional consequence is that debt gives people temporary highs and long-term headaches. The quiet ones skip the high, avoid the headache, and sleep great at night. Number 7. They focus on assets, not appearances. This is the part nobody talks about because it's not sexy. Real wealth isn't about what you buy, it's about what you build. Quiet millionaires spend years accumulating assets that grow quietly in the background. Stocks, real estate, businesses, index funds, retirement accounts. While everyone else is focused on looking rich, new car, designer clothes, luxury vacations, the quiet ones are focused on buying things that pay them back. Think about it. A $500 watch costs you $500, but a $500 index fund investment could double in value over a few years. One makes you look successful for a few minutes. The other makes you successful for life. Quiet millionaires also understand that wealth is invisible. If you can see it, it's probably being spent. The people you think are rich often aren't. They're leveraged, stressed, and one bad month away from a financial meltdown. The truly wealthy ones? They're the ones quietly shopping at Costco in a 15-year-old car, not because they have to, but because they know better. Number 8. They automate everything. Look, willpower is overrated. Everyone thinks they'll remember to invest or save what's left over. But here's the truth. There's never anything left over. Life expands to fill your wallet. Quiet millionaires know this, so they take emotion out of the equation. They automate their wealth. automatic transfers to investments, automatic bill payments, automatic savings. This does two things. 1. It removes friction. You don't have to think about saving. It just happens. 2. It makes investing feel painless. You don't miss money that never hits your checking account in the first place. Over time, these small, automatic moves build massive momentum. Meanwhile, the people who rely on discipline are constantly fighting their own habits. They'll invest 1 month, skip the next, panic during market dips, and wonder why they're not making progress. Quiet millionaires build systems so they don't have to rely on motivation. And that's why they win, even when they're not paying attention. Number 9. They prioritize boring over brilliant. This is where most people get it wrong. They think wealth building should be exciting. Day trading, flipping houses, buying into startups. Quiet millionaires know that excitement and consistency rarely live in the same place. The wealthiest average people usually got that way through boring, repetitive moves, consistent investing, steady careers, sensible real estate. That's it. It's not that they lack ambition. It's that they understand compounding better than thrill seekers do. $1,000 growing at 8% annually doesn't look exciting for the first few years. But fast forward 20 or 30 years, and that same $1,000 turns into $10,000, then $30,000, then more. Quiet millionaires don't need fireworks. They need math and patience. The emotional consequence here is that most people give up too soon. They think this isn't working because they can't see progress fast enough. So they chase the next shiny thing, lose money, and start over. The quiet ones stay bored and get rich. That's the trade-off. Number 10. They keep their circle grounded. Money is contagious. Not literally, but the habits around it are. If your friends constantly spend, you will too. If they complain about money, you'll normalize being broke. Quiet millionaires choose their circle carefully. They spend time with people who talk about ideas, not purchases. People who invest, not impress. This doesn't mean they only hang out with rich people. It means they surround themselves with financially grounded people, the kind who understand long-term thinking and delayed gratification. The ones who don't make you feel weird for saying no to an overpriced dinner or skipping the luxury vacation. Most people get trapped in environments that constantly pressure them to spend. Keeping up with coworkers, family expectations, friend groups. The quiet ones quietly opt out. They create a lifestyle where saving isn't weird, where financial goals are normal. That's how they protect their mindset and their bank accounts. Number 11. They ignore financial noise. Every day there's another headline. Market crash incoming. Housing bubble about to burst. This new crypto will make you rich. Quiet millionaires don't react to any of it. They don't panic sell, they don't chase hype, and they definitely don't let fear dictate their decisions. They understand that the news makes money from attention, not accuracy, and fear gets attention. So they tune it out. They check their portfolio maybe once a quarter. They focus on the long game because they know every crash in history eventually became a buying opportunity for people who stayed calm. Here's the emotional reality. People who react to every headline live in a constant state of anxiety. Quiet millionaires live in peace. They've built systems that don't depend on predicting the future. That's the real secret. They don't need to be right. They just need to stay consistent. Number 12. They think in decades, not days. Here's the part that separates the quiet millionaires from everyone else. They think long-term, really long-term. Most people think in terms of next week's paycheck or next year's vacation. Quiet millionaires think about their future selves 10, 20, even 30 years down the line. They make decisions today that future them will thank them for, not regret. When they invest, they're thinking about what their money will be doing 20 years from now, not how the market looks this week. When they buy a home, they're thinking about how it fits their future, not their ego. When they spend, they ask one simple question. Will I still care about this purchase in 5 years? If the answer is no, they skip it. Most people live in reaction mode. Quiet millionaires live in strategy mode. They plant trees knowing they might not sit under the shade for years, but when the time comes, they're the ones sitting comfortably while everyone else is scrambling. Number 13. They build multiple streams of income, slowly. Everyone online talks about passive income like it's this magic switch you can flip overnight. It's not. It takes years to build. Quiet millionaires know this, and they build income streams gradually. They start with one solid foundation, usually their job, then use extra money to create more sources, maybe rental income, dividends, side businesses, or freelance work. The key is sustainability. They don't chase 10 things at once. They master one, then move to the next. Over time, those streams compound. One becomes two, two becomes four. Eventually, they have income from multiple sources, which makes them financially bulletproof. If one dries up, the others keep flowing. Most people never get there because they try to sprint instead of walk. They want fast results, so they burn out or give up. Quiet millionaires move quietly and consistently. It looks slow until suddenly it isn't. Number 14. They protect their downside. This one rarely gets discussed, but it's crucial. Quiet millionaires don't just focus on making money. They focus on not losing it. They have emergency funds, insurance, diversified portfolios. They don't take bets that could wipe them out. That's why they stay wealthy once they get there. The emotional side of this is huge. When you know you're protected, you can make better decisions. You're not acting out of fear. You're not gambling. You're operating from a position of calm and control. Most people skip this part because it's not exciting. Nobody brags about having 6 months of expenses in cash. But that's exactly what gives quiet millionaires the ability to take smart risks. They're not scared of setbacks because they've built a safety net first. Number 15. They stay humble even after they win. This might be the most powerful part. Quiet millionaires stay grounded. They remember what it took to get there, so they don't waste it showing off. They don't upgrade everything the moment they can afford to. They keep their routine simple, their expenses modest, and their ego in check. They understand that wealth isn't a finish line. It's a tool for freedom, for time, for security, not for validation. That's why they stay rich and often get richer while the loud ones burn out trying to look the part. The emotional consequence is subtle but real. When you need to look rich, you'll always feel poor. Quiet millionaires don't need to prove anything. They just live well, quietly. So where does this leave us? The quiet path to becoming a millionaire isn't glamorous. It's not about luck, hustle, or some secret stock pick. It's about living below your means, starting early, investing consistently, avoiding debt, and ignoring the noise. It's about doing the right things for long enough that time starts working for you instead of against you. Most people won't do it because it feels too slow, but that's the irony. Slow is fast when you let compounding work. Quiet millionaires aren't smarter, richer, or luckier. They're just patient. They made peace with being boring while everyone else chased excitement. So yeah, maybe your life won't look flashy on social media. Maybe you'll drive a normal car and wear normal clothes. But you'll have peace, options, and freedom, the stuff everyone else is pretending to have. You don't need to look rich. You need to stop being stressed. And that's the quiet way average people become millionaires.